Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope your day, your week, and your weekend have been going very well so far. The NFL Week 11 is officially here. That's right. I can no longer count my fingers, which means we are pretty deep into this NFL season. With another week of NFL football comes another edition of Sunday Night Football. We've got one of the best matchups of the entire Sunday Night Football slate for the entire NFL season. We have the Detroit Lions facing off with the Philadelphia Eagles. Massive implications for the NFC standings come playoff time, NFC Championship, all that stuff. A lot of massive implications coming from this game. Really excited to go ahead and break it down with you guys, and more importantly, I've got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new week of NFL football comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 picks to share with you guys in today's game. We have actually a money line pick. We have a total pick, and then we have 2 player props, one which is our anytime touchdown player prop, which we do a giveaway contest for every single week here on the channel. The rules are very simple. Stick around to the end of the video. It'll be the final pick I hand out in today's video. Comment the name of the player that I give you for the anytime touchdown player prop, and then if that player scores a touchdown, one lucky commenter will win a free $25 Amazon gift card. And actually, let's up it because we haven't hit in a couple weeks. I want to up the stakes here. If this player cashes his touchdown player prop, we will give one lucky commenter who comments his name a free $50 Amazon gift card. I'm feeling ballsy here today, guys. We're upping the stakes here. I'm feeling really good. We've had a rough couple of weeks, to say the least. The last 2 weeks in particular, not the best. But before we click off the video, don't worry. I'm in love with the board today. And although we have missed the mark the last couple of weeks, I do think that just means we're due here for a big day today. So let's go ahead and break it down here, starting off with our first pick in today's video, our money line pick. And look, guys, I haven't learned my lesson here. We're going with the underdog. I know last week we were on the Steelers. That didn't pay off. The week before, we were on the Commanders. That didn't pay off. But I'm telling you guys, and I tell you this because I want to be transparent with you, but I love the Lions, despite the fact that obviously the last couple of weeks, betting the underdogs hasn't really paid off. This is one of those matchups that makes a lot more sense. The Lions are a more complete team than, let's say, the Steelers and Commanders, which were more of gambles, if we're being honest, looking back in hindsight. Lions at Eagles, 8:20 p.m. kickoff. Lions money line is my first pick. I'm grabbing it for the best odds available, plus 131 over on Novig. This is a game that ultimately is a coin flip type of a game. These are 2 pretty even teams. As the spread indicates, it's a 2.5 point spread. It's a very tight battle here. You're giving me a 6-3 team, one of the best teams in the NFL, for plus 131. I don't care who they're playing. It's a good value pick. And I do truly believe in my heart of hearts, Detroit is going to go ahead and win this game. Again, both teams, the Eagles are 7-2, the Lions are 6-3. Let's start off with the pros as to why I like this pick. First and foremost, you are catching the Eagles here on short rest. Now, they were off the bye before that, so even though they're on short rest, it's not like they've played 4 games in a row and they're just dogged and tired. But they obviously played Monday night, a very physical, a defensive battle with the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, or at Lambeau Field, excuse me. This week now, they come back home, short rest against a Lions team coming off a very dominant win last Sunday over the Commanders, which I understand isn't saying too much because the Commanders obviously no Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. We know their injury issues on that side. So them beating them by 22 points isn't that impressive. But there is obviously the rest advantage. The second point, and this is the most important one as to why I like the Lions in this spot. We go over to the dashboard over on GuyBostonSports.com. The Lions have a huge advantage here against the Eagles' run defense. Now, the Eagles' defensive numbers we have to take with a grain of salt because they obviously made a lot of moves at the trade deadline to improve that defense, right? The biggest one being Jalen Phillips. You saw in the Packers game the immediate impact he had on this Eagles defense. That being said, though, the Eagles run defense in terms of DVOA standards is 21st in the NFL. Obviously, DVOA takes in more than just yards allowed. It takes in a couple different things to create this ultimate stat to identify just how good or how bad a unit is. And the Eagles defense, which is 13th and improving, their run defense has definitely been the weaker spot. Well, you have a Lions offense that, by the way, in general is top 5 in DVOA and the 6th best offense in terms of running the football in terms of DVOA. We go back over here to Outlier, you go down to the matchup screen here, and you do see the Eagles defense this season, 19th in rushing yards allowed, giving up 118.6 yards per game. So it kind of matches up, okay? This isn't a great run defense. However, you're going against the Lions offense that has the 6th most yards per game, 136.3 average per game per week. And of course, they have that really good passing offense as well. Now, why is the running game that advantage huge here? Well, because This is a game that right now, as we're looking at the weather reports, is going to be a rather windy game. Projections currently show they're going to have winds with a speed of over 10 miles per hour in this spot. So you're going to have a windy game, which obviously isn't pristine conditions for a passing battle. So in those kind of matchups, you're going to see lower scoring games and more emphasis on running the football. So that's why it's a key matchup spot here. One of the big reasons why I do like Detroit in this spot is because I do think the Lions can have that success running the football. We scroll up a little bit here and kind of dive deeper into the rushing numbers here for Detroit. You look at the offensive rushing scheme here, okay? They have the 4th highest frequency in the NFL in terms of outside zone. Guess what? The Eagles have the 2nd worst defense in the NFL in terms of yards per carry against outside zone. Now, the Eagles rank very well in terms of yards per carry allowed to the inside zone. Too bad the Lions don't really run inside zone that much. They do run that man duo scheme a pretty high amount, and the Eagles are pretty good defending that. But this right here is the key area where the Lions can attack the Eagles there. They struggle with outside zone. The Lions run a lot of outside zone. Key advantages. On the flip side here, look at the Eagles rushing offense this season. We scroll back down. Yes, they have Saquon Barkley, but it's been a rough year. If you guys have watched the Eagles this season, Saquon's not having anywhere close to the year he had last year. The Eagles, in terms of offensive DVOA, 22nd in running the football. So this is not a very good rushing offense. And on the flip side, kind of going back and forth here, the Lions defense, 7th best in terms of DVOA. We go back here to the matchup screen on Outlier. You see the Eagles 21st in rushing yards per game, averaging 111.6 rushing yards per game. The Lions 8th best defense in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, give up 94 per game. So you have a very good Lions run defense, okay, against a Eagles rushing offense that's still trying to find its footing. It's not all Saquon's fault. Obviously, the offensive line, this is not the best unit they've had in the last few years. It's kind of been slowly getting worse. It's still not I wouldn't call them a bad offensive line, but they're not where they used to be, and you can see that in the running game. We go back up here, and you see the Lions here, 5th best defense in terms of yards per carry allowed to inside zone, 11th versus outside zone, and 14th versus man duo. There's just not really an area where the Lions' run defense is weak enough for the Eagles to go ahead and attack. Now, obviously, if Saquon gets going, he can beat any defense, but obviously the Lions have those advantages in this spot. Very strong running game against I don't want to say fraudulent, but a suspect Eagles run defense. On the flip side, you have a very strong Lions run defense against a weaker, unproven so far this year, Eagles rushing offense. Now, we have seen over the last 3 games, the Eagles have started turning around a little bit here in terms of the rushing yards per game. Last 3 games, 144. That's 9th best in the league. Yards per carry, 4.8, 9th best. So they have been improving. We have to go ahead and note that. But again, a very big advantage here for the Lions. And in general, this is a very good Lions team. Again, going back to this dashboard screen here and looking at the DVOA numbers, this is the 4th best team in terms of overall DVOA. The Eagles obviously not far off being 7th, but this is the Lions team that is very, very good. They've been proven. They've had a couple of tricky losses this year, including a couple weeks ago versus the Vikings. But in this spot, you're catching the Eagles on a bit of a short rest coming off a very physical battle with the Packers. With the advantage they have, with the weather, all these things put together, I do like Detroit in this spot. Also, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff in prime time in their time together in Detroit have been a very successful pairing. So I like the Lions a lot in this spot. And for plus 131, you're getting great value here. Now, I know I rambled a lot on that pick, guys, but that's because our second pick kind of goes hand in hand here. I'm rocking with the under 47.5 in this game. Now, the actual under is actually 46.5. I'm buying a point down, or adding a point, to the total. Make it a little bit better. I've seen too many bets lose by 1 or 2 points that I always add a point or 2. If you watch my videos, I do this for almost every play. But the under 47.5, which I am grabbing for minus 118 over on Novig, best odds available to me. Both these teams have been heavy over teams this season. The Lions 56% cover rate when looking at the over of 47.5. The Eagles 56% cover rate looking at the over 47.5. Again, these are 2 pretty strong defenses though, so you're going to see some pretty solid defenses go toe to toe. The Eagles passing offense, even if they were to get going, this is not the defense to do it against. On the flip side, again, the Lions, they have their advantages, but the wind factor is huge here. Now, this stat I'm about to share with you guys, I didn't come up with this on my own. This comes over from Action Network, their pro systems, which is very good. They indicate that unders are 608, 452, and 10, which is a 57%, I don't know why I said it like that, 57% cover rate in NFL games played in winds of at least 10 miles per hour and temperatures above freezing since 2003. Okay, the winds steady around 12 to 13 miles per hour is expected in this game, so it fits that data report. So 57% cover rate in these conditions where you have higher winds and it's above freezing. I think so. The under is a good play here. 57% cover rate with that data trend here. I know both teams have not been very big under teams, but considering the defensive natures of the game, you obviously just saw the Eagles. They play in these kind of gritty battles like the Packers last week. I think the under is a good spot. And if you do look at the Lions, some of the games they play where they played better teams, the under has hit. You see the Bucs game, low scoring game, the Chiefs game, it was tight, but they actually did cash this under. The Browns game, really good defense. Okay, the Packers game, the under. So some of these games where you're seeing teams with solid defenses, a defense at least around the level of the Eagles, go toe to toe, they've been lower scoring games. The Lions are not scoring 44 on the Eagles. Okay, they're not scoring 38 on the Eagles. They're not scoring 37 on the Eagles. It's expected against those weaker defenses, 52 like they did on the Bears. It's going to be a more gritty battle. The under, I think, is the right play here. And for minus 118, it is good value. Now, very quickly, guys, before we finish off with our 2 player props in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about quickly the sponsor of today's video, Novig. Guys, if you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. Why? Because other users who are setting the lines, the people are setting the odds, not the big time books. You're competing with other users on Novig. Peer-to-peer is growing at a crazy rate, and you don't want to be late to this. Sign up for Novig today. Use the link down below in the description. Spend $5 when using our link and get $50 in bonus bets today. As you saw here so far in this video, both plays, the best odds available, were over on Novig. I've been using Novig all NFL season. They've been fantastic, giving me extra value on every play. I've been able to even adjust lines to 3 points extra and still get way better value on Novig than anywhere else. So guys, check out Novig. Use the link down below in the description. Bet $5 and get $50 in bonus bets today. Shout out to Novig for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, finishing off strong here with our player props. Our first of 2 player props here, we have David Montgomery over 10.5 rushing attempts for the Lions. Now, I'm not going to put a full unit on this, and the final plays will be down below in the comments. Got messed up there for a second. It'll be down below in the pinned comment will be the final plays. That'll also show how many units I'm playing on each bet. I'm not going to put a full unit on this. It is a plus money play. Again, shout out to Novig, sponsor of today's video. Plus 117 over on Novig, over 10.5 rushing attempts. Now, the data is very strong here. He's cashed it in 7 of 9 games this season, averaging 11.56 rushing attempts per game. So really good numbers here. You look down below here. He is getting a healthy amount of running, and this is obviously a run-heavy team in a situation, as we've highlighted already in this video, a run-heavy situation. 40% run share. He has 24 carries fewer than Gibbs, but still, they run the ball a lot. He gets a lot of work in this offense. He's averaging, like I said, over 11 carries per game. We need him to get to 11. All we need to do is have an average day for Montgomery, and we cash the over. Only twice. The Browns game and the Chiefs games, both who have decent run defenses, by the way, are the only 2 games where he failed, to go ahead and cash the over. You look up here above, rushing attempts against the Eagles, 20th in the NFL, giving up 27.1 rushing attempts per game to opposing running back. Again, it's a plus money play. I'll probably put half a unit on this just to have it on there because, again, the numbers are really good. You look at the insights provided by Outlier. He's exceeded 10.5 rushing attempts in 4 of his last 5 games on the road as well, averaging 12 carries per game over the last 5 road games. Those are all this year. So, like I said, it's a half unit play. Throw a little something on there, and let's go ahead and hit that. And last but not least, guys, we have our anytime touchdown player prop. We're going with Jahmyr Gibbs here. So I gave you guys a little bit of a layup here. $50 gift card, comment his name, Jahmyr Gibbs, and if he scores a touchdown, one lucky comment to win a free $50 Amazon gift card. Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown, we're grabbing that for minus 115 over on Novig. Again, all the picks here, the best odds available over on Novig. Minus 115 for a reason. This is a pretty good matchup. He's cashed it in 6 of 9. Let's pause for the applause. 6 of 9 games this year. It's a 67% hit rate on the season. He's averaging over a touchdown per game and coming off a 3 touchdown performance against the Commanders. The good thing with Gibbs here and why he's minus odds here is because he can get it on the ground. He also can get it through the air. We go down below here and look at the volume targets. He's 4th in targets in general. We go to red zone targets. He's 2nd. Only Amon-Ra St. Brown is ahead of him with 5 red zone targets. Laporta also not playing. I believe he's on injured reserve, I saw. Let me go ahead and double check that real quick. I don't want to be talking out of my ass here. I'm pretty sure I saw yesterday he's on injured reserve. Yes, Laporta is out. So that's the 3rd guy in terms of red zone targets out. So that could mean even more red zone work for Gibbs. Rushing attempts, we obviously saw he's number 1 with almost 50% rushing share. And then red zone rushing attempts, 34 red zone rushing attempts, a 57.6% red zone rush share. Yes, it's true. David Montgomery does snipe some of these away from him from time to time. But I do feel like unlike previous years, Gibbs this year has started to sort of distance himself and make it clear he is the top running back here. And overall, the Eagles, they don't give them many touchdowns to running backs, but, let me try that again. The Eagles don't give up many touchdowns. Got ahead of myself. In general, 5th in the NFL, giving up just 2.1 touchdowns per game. However, versus running backs, 26th in the NFL, giving up 1.2 touchdowns per game to the running back position. So it's a good matchup spot here. Really good numbers. He's exceeded half a touchdown in 12 of his last 15 games, dating back to last year, averaging 1.4 touchdowns per game. Really good data across the board here. And again, comment Gibbs, he scores touchdown. You can win off the prop and win a $50 Amazon gift card. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I'll be back next week with another edition of Sunday Night Football Picks. Until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday night. And let's go ahead and make some money.